Okay, we are going to go ahead and move into trades now, and the trades are going to be a little tricky. The deadline will be the same ending date as the first arbitration period, so you will have decisions to make about which players you want to extend, which players you might want to try to obtain through a trade, which players you want to send to um, free agency or at least to the second arbitration period after the season. So it will be a little tricky to do trades because of the salaries, but this can be a huge advantage to the franchise that are both wanting to be aggressive at the deadline to make a run at the Super Bowl and maybe try to rent a player for a few weeks, or for a team at the bottom half of the league that can dump an expensive player's salary to make a run at another free agent at the end of the season, maybe gain a younger player and or a future draft pick. Here's a hypothetical example of how trading will work with two players that have different salaries. So let's say Team A wants to trade Dwayne Bowe, and his salary, as you can see, is 2 years, $4 per game or per year, or 25 cents per game because 16 divided by 4 equals 25 cents. Team B, for some stupid reason, is going to trade Peyton Manning for Dwayne Bowe. Peyton Manning's salary hypothetically is 4 years, $8 per year, or 50 cents per game. So if you wanted to make this trade happen during week 8, Dwayne Bowe will have made a total of $2 so far, and Team B will have paid Peyton Manning a total of $4. Therefore, Team A would have to owe Dwayne Bowe only $2, while Team B would owe Manning $4. So in this instance, Team A would have to pay Team B $2 for the difference in the contract for the remainder of the season. And you can see the difference in this example if it happened during week 4. I also, in the spreadsheet, as you can see here, put together some more formulas. And the first thing to remember is when you're using this is to always put the player with the higher salary on the bottom, or the formula won't work. So like we said, well, let's make a different example. Peyton Manning's salary is $10, and Dwayne Bowe's is, we'll say, $3.75. So that figures out how much per week. That's based on a 16-week period. But like I said, you have to show which week it is. So if this is the third week of the season and you want to make this trade, it automatically adjusts how much Team A is going to owe Team B. If you wait until, say, week 10, the deadline, that changes the amount a lot because there's not nearly as many games left. And so that's basically how that works. So you just fill in the highlighted boxes, obviously. Put Team A's player right here, Team B's player right here, their respective salaries, and whatever week it is that you want to make the trade happen. So, and then also you can do this with multiple players if you'd like. So let's say Dwayne Bowe is worth 3, Jamal Charles 5, Alex Smith 7, and you want to trade them for Peyton Manning 7, Demaryius Thomas 9, 11 for Julius Thomas. That's what it would be like if you did it at the beginning of the season based on the 16-game season. If you did it during week 6, you just type that week in there and it adjusts the formula. Week 3, just the amount owed because it has this total salary remaining for the Team A and for Team B. So you can see it's this spreadsheet and these formulas, it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out how to do that. Now, what becomes even more difficult though with this is if trying to trade players for future draft picks, which is completely allowable and encouraged. But the difficult part becomes assigning the traded players draft picks to the new teams. Excuse me. The only way I can think of completing this type of transaction is by kind of having a gentleman's agreement that the newly acquired professional player released by the owner, who they traded it to for the draft pick, is the only owner that can claim that player off waivers, is the one that's forfeiting the draft pick in the future. So here's an example. Team C trades A.J. Jenkins to Team D for a 2015 second round draft pick. Team C would have to release A.J. Jenkins to waivers, and then Team D would be the only team allowed to claim Jenkins for the remainder of the season along with his contract. Similarly to the previous example with the salaries, Team D would then have to pick up Jenkins' salary based upon his salary per game for the remainder of the season. Teams may also trade players for cash and complete sign and trade deals. Basically, if you work out a deal that you want to extend the guy's contract right before week 10 in the deadline, and let's say the contract's up to the deal, you can tell the other team, well, if you sign him to a 3-year contract extension, I will complete the trade for you. So that player that would be receiving him in the trade would have him for the 3 years extension, which I guess really, now that I think about it, you really don't need to do because there's a second arbitration period, so the guy can claim him or trade for him and then just extend him during the second arbitration period. So this could probably just be deleted. But you can trade for cash too. All right, I will get to waivers and releasing players next.